Habari ma Afrika, mimi na King, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Asante kwa kutazama King Said So. Absheni man. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Susan Welsh has hit us again with another classic with a guest this time around, Mr. Tokyo Sexwale. Wow. What a good interview, guys. I wish you guys can go and watch the entirety of that interview. I just want to break down the highlights that Dr. Susan Welsh has given us and speak about it, because I think we are getting a little bit closer to having that discussion of the ANC after Cyril Ramaphosa, and what are we looking at in the ANC in terms of the reconfiguration, and also who will be the next president of the party. And Tokyo is covering most of the topics in that regard. So the ANC finds itself in a situation where the decision that they are going to make going forward is going to either, like Tokyo said, take the ANC from 40% to 50%, or sadly from 40% to 20%. That is a very sad reality to think about, but both scenarios are very much possible if the ANC is not careful. So I believe that the ANC is trying their best. If their best is going to be enough, that's another story, but at least trying they do. So Tokyo Sexwale is one of those elders that we respect, but hey, he came the other time with the other trillions of money. You guys still remember when he wanted money, and there was an international donor gave people money and the money disappeared or something. You still guys remember? I don't know where that story ended, by the way. So let's listen quickly to what that the Tokyo Sexwale has said at the Dr. Susan Welsh and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinchiva Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. The people of the 26, I'm at David Order Manje. Let us purchase the tickets to the gala dinner. The David orders are done. Our tickets to our gala dinner that is happening on the 2nd of May is only 1,000 Rand. Please make sure that you buy them, or you can buy the last 2 VIP tickets that are available for 2,000 Rand. We appreciate everybody that has purchased a ticket this far. And we are looking forward to hosting you guys on the Diamond City here in Kimberley, the Northern Cape. And everybody also that has, purchased the One Pallet campaign of Mike Khadebe. The Mike Khadebe campaign is a campaign where we encourage people to buy 1 pallet of bricks for Paseta so that we can build this school. And that 1 pallet is something that is going to assist us to fast track the building of the school. So far, I think we have got 4 people that bought the pallet. Is Uncle Mike Khadebe himself. And then we had Untsiki Real Estate that bought the pallet, who as Joseph. He's in Australia, from South Africa, but he's in Australia, also purchased a pallet of bricks. And also the last person was Uncle Greg, who also purchased a pallet of bricks. So we appreciate those 4 individuals for buying us 4 pallets of bricks. 4 pallets of bricks in terms of the gate and the arrangement of what we can do with it is something, ladies and gentlemen. So now if you want to purchase a pallet of bricks, please make sure that you deposit 1,500 Rand into this account with your name and surname as a reference number, 1,500 Rand on the dot. Then I will know that it is you. Make sure that you get in contact with us after that, sending the proof of payment to to our website www.paseta.co.za. Our WhatsApp number is there to communicate with us, and we will send you a certificate of gratitude if you do that with for us. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, Tokyo Sexwale is an elder that we respected and we don't see much of. I mean, the man is all right, man. He was in Robben Island. He's a vet. He's a vet. He's one of those people that is very well respected in the political circles, and he's taking care of himself. He's taking care of himself. He's looking good. So I just wanted to break down this interview with him and Dr. Sizwe Mpofu. I think it was a good interview. Some insight were given to us. Let's listen quickly to what Ntate Tokyo Sexwale said.
I said the president is in the departure lounge. I'm not saying something here. He'll be gone. His suitcases are being packed every day. Mashatile is going to arrive. Will he be the president? I wish he will be. You know why? Because I saw what we did at Polokwane. It's not nice that each time since Polokwane, every president must leave like a dog. Show him the door.
Wow.
This is the African National Congress of Nelson Mandela, who gave us this organization at Mafikeng, but warned us that be careful. Read his closing remarks when he pointed fingers at leaders.
Do you fear for President Ramaphosa in that regard?
Now, the point is that I wouldn't want Cyril to be driven out of the office. It's not in my interest. Maybe I don't like him. Maybe he must go. Maybe. But no matter who dislikes him, I don't want the repetition, this trend of in South Africa, a president is kick him out. So if that happens, it just juxtaposes everything. Therefore, we're not learning from history because, as Hegel says, history teaches that we learn nothing from history. This bloodletting in the ANC must come to an end.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that Tokyo will be saying that Cyril Ramaphosa is busy packing his bags, or his bags are being packed for him each and every day, And that brings me to wondering that of course, I'm sure he does, the President Cyril Ramaphosa, think about his legacy as a president, because he's finding himself in a very sticky situation where every president that leaves office of the ANC and of course of the country, we then compare them to the previous president. It's very difficult to be compared to Jacob Zuma's term. They call it the 9 wasted years, but it was wasted because white monopoly capitalists could not do as they please in those 9 wasted years. You guys know what the facts are. I mean, you don't need research. You just look at the price of petrol. You just look at the price of bread. You just look at who built the universities, infrastructure development during Jacob Zuma's time. You look at the crime rate, you look at unemployment rate, look at everything that you can look at that points out clearly without any fear or favor that during Jacob Zuma's time, we were living in a better South Africa than now. Many people would disagree, but those who read facts would definitely, agree. So it's going to be very difficult for Cyril Ramaphosa in terms of his exit on the party. And also this issue of AfriForum playing on his balls like this, testing his manhood. That's what I mean by playing on his balls. Testing his manhood. And how is Cyril Ramaphosa going to be remembered? Many things fall under his term that are not good, and COVID did not assist him at all. So it's very concerning for me to see how Cyril Ramaphosa is going to turn this thing around. This AGOA and, this fight with the US and everything, it might not turn out good for him as a president. And of course, that directly relates to us as a country. Tokyo is talking about, since the Polokwane conference, that every president has not finished their term. Thabo Mbeki, Cyril Ramaphosa, and now it looks like also the closer we get to 2027, the more the appetite of the ANC is going to grow in removing Cyril Ramaphosa, in trying to say we need to give the other president, the incoming president, enough time to build the ANC in terms of the 2029 national election. So that's another thing. He says he would not like for Cyril to be dragged out of office, So he says that is not in his interest. Unfortunately, the ANC must stop thinking like this. You know, I'm one person. We must be realistic. You going to keep if you keep Cyril Ramaphosa to finish his term, it will be at the demise of the party. It will hurt the party more because looking at how South Africa is going, there is no signs of improvement. You guys can't even agree on a flippant budget speech. You can't agree on anything. You know, is he really going to implement Bella? Is he really going to implement the NHI? What is it that Cyril Ramaphosa is going to do that's going to give ANC voters and the ANC party confidence that, listen, finish your term. You don't need to leave after the what you call the conference in 2027 and remain the president of South Africa, but you are no longer the president of the ANC. That mess up of, you know, two centers of power is not going to work for the ANC. It's just going to damage the ANC more and more. So he says, no, man, if it happens that they remove Cyril Ramaphosa, it will mean that he says he does not want this reputation and this trend to continue. Sadly, it has to continue. Might be for the last time, but keep Cyril Ramaphosa, it will hurt the ANC. I mean, keep him beyond 2027. From now until 2027, of course, he must stay. But after that conference, because he can't be president again, especially of the country, I think of the ANC he can, but of the country he can't. So it does not make sense to keep him beyond what you call beyond the elections there in the ANC. He says if that happens, we are not learning from history. Yes, the ANC has not learned from history. The first thing that the ANC did that showed us that they don't learn from history is not listening to their voters. Their voters has continuously told them, we don't like this direction, we like this direction. They continuously took the direction they thought was the best direction for the country. Even now, I speak to ANC people, they say it would have been better if we worked with Mkhonto and EFF. Some of them don't like Jacob Zuma, just like some EFF people don't like Floyd Shivambu. But they would have they were prepared to work with him, and rather than sell out their souls with the Democratic Alliance. So that was very, very, very unfortunate for the ANC. You know, you keep Cyril at the expense of the party for the sake of saying, no, we want to be seen orderly, we want to be seen as a unit. No, nobody wants to hear that nonsense. Nobody wants to hear that. You are in ICU. Don't try to manage the casket by spraying, perfume on it and try to make death smell better. No, the ANC is in a serious ICU and it needs to think about the future. So again, and that the Tokyo has said that he maybe, favors that Paul Mashatile must be the next president.
So we've got to manage these transitions properly. So the question is, now, where are we? Are we going to go with the next president? Because it's not only him, by the way, looking at a president as though he's the president who did miracles, this fixation with an individual. The next individual, whether it's Paul Mashatile, I hope it is. I'm sorry, I'm saying this because, I know him, I've worked with him, we created Gauteng with him. This bullet trains is Paul Mashatile. The Gauteng is him. And many other things that he did under my leadership in this part of South Africa where there's only 2% of territory. That's Gauteng. We named it together Gauteng. I trust him. So if there's a vote, I'll put my vote. He can be defeated, but one of the defeated votes will be mine.
Wow.
But besides that, it's not a personality issue. If he's wrong, then he doesn't belong.
Sure.
Besides that, I wouldn't want to see this. Because we've been part of this thing and seeing. We were part of it from Limpopo. There were reasons. We had very good reasons from Polokwane. But then this thing started its own thing. It's used by others for other reasons. So that now it will be Cyril must go and then let's manage this transition. Otherwise, is it 40 towards 50 or 40, as they say, towards 20?
So, guys, Paul Mashatile as the next president of South Africa. Well, he's not that old, eh? How old is Paul? 63 years old? I think he's born in 1961. He's 63 years old. He's not that old. He appears old, I have to say, but he's not that old. He will still be 63 plus 66, 67 years old in 2029. So he's not that old. He can still lead the ANC. Is he going to be the guy that is going to get South Africans excited on voting the ANC? That's a bigger question that the ANC needs to realistically look at. What type of new vibe? What's the difference between Paul and Cyril? In terms of character. I mean, Paul, you hardly see Paul excited. You hardly see Paul angry. He's always neutral. Like, it's the same with Cyril Ramaphosa. Hardly loses his cool. Always, unlike Panyaza and Fikile, even Gwede, sometimes you see them, they express themselves, and sometimes people love them because of that. But Paul, he's a cool guy. He's a father figure. He's okay. Is the youth going to be excited to rally behind his name, to vote for him? People who are 20 years old, 18 years old now, plus 4 years, will they be excited? The 30-year-olds, is Paul, is he relating to that age group? Because remember, that age group between 25 and 35, 25 and 35 is the group that votes the most. Then big numbers of votes come from that group up until 40 years. So that's the people that you need to be targeting. Is Paul Mashatile the president that you think it will get those people into the ballot paper and vote for the ANC? No. And the chances of him being president are very high, because in the ANC, all the deputy president turned out to be the president, except for Didi Mabuza. But now, I'm afraid to icon. Is Paul going to be the right guy? And now they're doing this reconfiguration in Gauteng, where they're bringing old bones out there, like, hey, old bones come back to life, Ezekiel type of a thing. I don't know. It's good that he's putting his weight behind Paul, because he's got a very close working relationship or history with Paul. They worked together in the past, and he rates him very high. But I think that Paul that he's talking about and this Paul that we have, it's not the same people. It's not the same person, if I can put it that way. And that's why I continuously tell people, if you want to see the best Julius Malema to be president, 2029 will be your last opportunity. The best. I'm not saying after that Julius can't be president. Probably will be, but he won't be the same. Imagine if Julius was the president now and AfriForum was doing all of this nonsense that they were doing. Now, today. Because if Jacob Zuma was the president now, I don't think Jacob Zuma would have done anything about AfriForum. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? I don't think Paul Mashatile, if he was president right now, he would have done anything about AfriForum. But I can bet you my last cent that if Panyaza was the president of South Africa, AfriForum were not going to make it back to the airport from the US. And best believe, if Julius was the president of our country, Besisokala, man. Besisokala. And I'm thinking, I'm in my mid-30s. So I'm thinking how young people think. And most people think like that, actually, to be fair. That our president is he has taught us how to be tolerant, man. Hey, as South Africans, we are so tolerant. So now, Paul, you are giving us again another tolerant person. Very tolerant. I cannot fault him. His character is just okay. It's just okay guy, just an okay guy. You don't hate Paul. I don't know anyone that hates Paul Mashatile. But there isn't the reasons to say, wow, I love him, I will follow him, and all of those things. He's just cruising in there. And from what I'm getting from the ANC people, that he's very powerful in the party. So the chances of him becoming the president are very high. As Tokyo Sexwale says, he will put his vote behind him. So I want to know from you guys, Paul Mashatile as the president, will that motivate you guys from voting the ANC again? Because the issue with the ANC is winning back votes. That's where they are standing. Are they going to be able to do that? Reconfiguration. Panyaza is leading right now with what's the old man's name? Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I want to know, man, Panyaza, Paul Mashatile, does it give you confidence to vote for the ANC? Because most of us come from voting the ANC anyway. Before the EFF, before the other, we were voting ANC. So now the question is, Paul Mashatile as backed by, and the problem is that the race has begun. The race for 2027 has begun. We know that. And it sounds like, to me, when I listen to Panyaza, he's also got a huge respect for Paul Mashatile. It's sounding like, because he said things like, no, there's a generation before us that can lead us. There's only one generation before them, is Kwede and Paul Mashatile, who are left. Otherwise, they are all peers, Fikile and Ban. They are in around the same age group. So, yeah, I'm very interested to hear what you guys are going to say about that. Maybe if you want me to break down more of this interview, you can just type part 2 on the comment section, and I will deal with the other points that he's dealing with in the interview. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.